What's up, everyone? Eli here from R&J Barbecue. Today we're going to go over some game day meals for the big game this Sunday. Even if your team had to win or sniff a winning season like the Giants, we can all come together around some good food and at least let that console us. So we're going to make some ribs, some chicken wings, and some sliders. Let's get started with our ribs. So we're going to go ahead and give it a quick wipe down. We're going to flip it over, pat it down, get rid of this silver skin. So just go ahead and take your paper towel, grab one end and pull, and it should come off in one piece. My son is currently talking to me, asking me if the Browns will actually let Myles Garrett go in a trade. I don't know, son. I don't know. There we go. All right, now let's start the seasoning process. I'm just going to use some neutral oil, some avocado oil, and we're going to go with the basics. That's going to be our salt, pepper, garlic, and then I'm also going to add some honey rub to the I like to season high up. I think it gets a wider surface area and more of an even coating. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to flip it over and repeat the process. Salt, pepper, garlic, little honey rub, and it is good to go. Got the rib seasoned. Let's go ahead and fire up the grill. All right, now that we put the coals in, we're gonna wait till this heats up to around 275 and most of this dirty smoke goes away. And then we'll put on the ribs. All right, now that the smoker's got up to temp, let's go ahead and add our ribs. Looking good, well seasoned. Now let's let this cook for 2.5 hours. Now that the ribs are in the smoker, we're going to go back, make our barbecue sauce for this, and start taking a look at our wings. All right, once we pat these down, we're going to put a little bit of avocado oil on there and hit it with some salt, pepper, and garlic as the base. So my camera didn't record me putting most of these ingredients in. However, to make this barbecue sauce, we're going to use 2 cups of ketchup, a half cup of apple cider vinegar, a half cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon black pepper, a half a teaspoon of salt, and put in a half a teaspoon of liquid smoke just for some extra smokiness. Next, for our hot honey wings, we're going to go ahead and add our own hot honey that we made previously, along with a stick of butter and some Frank's Red Hot. Now that we've let these sauces come together on the stove and they're nice and simmered, we're going to go ahead and take them and put them in the bottles. My wife got these for me, and they have just turned out to be super convenient for a multiple range of uses. All right, let's start working on our sliders. So first we're just going to add some of our spicy Italian sausage to the cast iron and then throw it on the stove. Right now we're just working to break it apart, make sure everything gets cooked through, has a nice brown color, a little bit of crisp on there, and that'll help with the texture in our sliders. While our sausage is cooking, we're going to go ahead and add our peppers, and we're going to simmer them, have the onions become translucent and soft, everything melts, and we're going to add some salt, pepper, garlic to it as well, and just have that all cooked through. All right, it's been 2.5 hours. Let's see how they look. Looking pretty good. Now we're going to take them out and we're going to wrap them and then put them back in for 30 minutes. Now that it's time for the wrap, we're going to lay down our aluminum foil, put in 3 tablespoons of butter, sprinkle in our brown sugar and honey. Once that's good, we're going to go ahead and get our apple juice. And you just need a little bit, not too much. It's just going to help add flavor and break down the meat some more. Now we're going to lay our ribs meat side down, and on top we're going to add another pat of butter, some brown sugar, and I'm adding some everyday seasoning to it. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and fold it up and place it back on the smoker. All right, we wrapped the ribs. They're on the smoker right now, popped up the heat, and we're going to go ahead and put our wings on. All right, let's put on the wings. We're going to do skin side up, close to the fire. That'll help crisp them up. It's going to get all that good smoky flavor. You can put whatever seasoning you want on these. I just went with a simple salt, pepper, garlic, because I'm going to finish this off in the sauce that we just made earlier. That hot honey sauce. Do. There we go. Our peppers are nice and soft, and they're going to be ready. To enhance the flavor of the sliders, we're going to go ahead and make a nice parsley garlic butter. So we're going to add a half stick of butter, a glob of garlic, and our parsley, and a little bit of salt. And we're just going to throw that onto the stove and let that melt and combine. Now that the butter is combined, let's give it a quick stir and then work on building our sliders. We're gonna get our tray pan, our Hawaiian rolls, cut them in half. Once that's placed, we're gonna go ahead and put in our Italian sausage along with our cheese. I used mozzarella. I just grabbed 3 handfuls. You can add or subtract to see how you see fit. And now we're gonna add our peppers. Off the screen, I did add some mayo. Now that we put the top on, now it's time to slather the top with our butter. All right. Wings have been on for 30 minutes. They look good. We're gonna take them off and throw them in some hot honey barbecue. And we're gonna take off the ribs and brush them with the sauce and put them back on for 5 minutes until the sauce gets tacky. All right, so the ribs that we had on there for 30 minutes wrapped, we're gonna go ahead and unwrap them and place our barbecue sauce. They're already smelling amazing at this point, and this barbecue sauce is just gonna give it that little extra. You don't have to be too generous on it. We don't want it like a super saucy ribs. We just need enough to just glaze. All right, we're gonna flip it over and repeat the process. Just a little bit, and go ahead and brush it. After that, now we're gonna put the foil in a boat. Then we leave the top uncovered and let that barbecue sauce really just tack up. This is the after. So we just taken the ribs off after 5 minutes. You can see that it's tacked up. It looks great. Not fall off the bone, but it's nice and tender, so still holding its form. Add a little bit of that juice back on top. And then we're gonna go ahead and cut these.
Yeah.
As you can see, it just goes in, cuts super easy. Our wings are cut up, and now after 10 minutes in the oven, our sliders are done as well, and they smell delicious. There's a cheese pool. All right, here is the finished product. We got our ribs, our sliders, and our wings. I also have some of my homemade ranch. If you want to learn how to make that, I have a YouTube short that I'll link to. So now let's give this a taste test. All right, so everything's done. Let's Let's try it out. It's the sauce. And wrapping it with the honey, the brown sugar, and the butter, and throwing it back on for an extra 30 minutes, taking it off, then putting our homemade barbecue sauce on, and just letting it sit back in there for another 5 minutes. Totally worth it.
See.
Before I try my wing and some ranch, well, let's just try it plain, see how it goes. The sweet heat from our homemade spicy honey that we made, and using some Texas Pete and butter, it's a classic. Highly recommend. And now for our slider.
Okay.
It's so good. The Hawaiian roll, the spicy Italian sausage, sauteing our peppers, and then basting it over with our parsley, butter, and garlic in the oven for 300 degrees for around 10 minutes. Makes the top crunchy. So good. These are the game day foods that I'll be serving during the Super Bowl. And maybe this will give you some ideas for yours. Maybe you'll try out the recipes. Hope you do. You won't be disappointed. Well, see you guys next time. Eli out.